Carriacou Regatta, one of 4 main festivals held on the Sister Isles annually. Back in the 50s, it was the premier sailing competition in this part of the hemisphere, attracting sailing enthusiasts from neighboring islands.
We just keep coming because we love the idea of the islands being together, and the togetherness of the islands. We have regatta because we build those boats basically for sailing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
But in recent times, the festival seemed to have lost its stature, its tradition, and eventually the level of participation. Elric Allo Rodney is the president of the Bequia Sailing Club and captain of the boat Bequia Pride. He has been participating in the regatta games for over a decade. He tells State of Affairs 2015 was their worst experience since coming to Carriacou for the regatta festival.
We spend about 2.5 hours on the beach calling. Every time we call someone, they will tell us call the other person, or someone is going to be here, and we still waiting until probably around 4 o'clock, close to 5, we get into our residence. And still when we get there, it wasn't really the condition we're looking at. So basically when we called them, we had to move from that part and came down, go down to the other side, Abigail.
So how did things really work out for you last year then?
It was pretty much bad. Definitely we call it inhuman because
it seems like it was more fun racing. Now the racing has changed a little bit, and it seems to me it's not maintained a cap on the tradition too well. So we're losing it a bit. And now we're only down to the big boats, the 4 or 5 of us is racing. So it's not a good sign for the countries to see that they're losing a good tradition.
We normally when we go out to race on Saturday, we will get something to eat. When we get back, sure, and something to drink. But that hasn't been so for that year, because when we come in, we ask this one, and this one will tell us the other person, and the other person will tell us go back to this person. And we was kind of in a circle, and that get us really frustrated and mad.
So what could have been the reason for this problem in 2015? Chairman of the Carriacou Regatta Festival Committee, Carl Benjamin, gave his side of the story as to what really happened last year.
So what happened last year, we had some boats coming in as the regatta started from Friday, Saturday. Boats were just coming in, and some people got into Carriacou a bit late, and it was a bit of a problem finding the appropriate accommodation for them and arranging for meals as well. It was our 50th anniversary, so we had hyped up the regatta a little bit more. So we found that the volumes that we were expected exceeded than what we were prepared for. So housing and meals, that was a problem last year.
Added to the problems of 2015, the 2016 Regatta Festival got off to a late start in planning. In fact, preparations began 6 weeks prior to the start of the event.
By the time Pitimarnik Regatta was done, it was Carriacou's Regatta, so that's the time when they started putting members in place to run the regatta here, because traditionally the Carriacou Regatta Committee ran regatta in Carriacou. So because of the tardiness in getting the committee started, we have had a late start to this year's planning.
Well, sailing is synonymous with Wester Hall. As you know, we are the title sponsor for the Workboat Regatta in Grenada, and Carriacou is very dear to us. We get very good support from Carriacou, so it's part of us giving back to Carriacou.
He admits this severely affected the financing aspect of the festival.
Sponsors, traditional sponsors, who would have heard nothing from us for the year. Some would have, at least in goodwill, budgeted accordingly and would have made preparation for word from us. So we got a couple of those, but the majority of our sponsors, they knew nothing, they heard nothing and did nothing. So our finances, so we had to scale back our planning, and some of our activities, costly events, we had to look closely at that, and stage events that we were sure that would generate income.
They say it's the little things that count. And so, amidst the problems and planning faults, the committee focused on good old small island hospitality to smooth out the kinks in their relationship with sailors.
We had 3 members of the committee came to Bequia. I make sure I provide all the best of hospitality for them, and they was very much welcome, and they we went into a meeting, and I guess what we discussed in the meeting, we are seeing the fruits of it now. So we feel good that we are here, and the cooperation is kind of good, because this morning is the first time I ever get a call from any of the committee members and ask how we slept and how was the night. I appreciate that.
The committee is being very hospitable, and they give us a nice place.
To sail down to Carriacou to race, and then you have to sail back up. So we felt that having seen what's happening in Bakeway, we needed to make a bigger impression on these guys and let them know that we appreciate them, and without Bakeway, we would miss those guys from Bakeway. So one of the things we did this year, we decided, all right, accommodation and meals were priority.
Looking ahead, the sailors want to see more youth participation in the regatta games to ensure there's a future for sailing in the Southern Caribbean.
IOTA, the International Sailing Federation for Kids, are very concerned about it. Last meeting I had with them, I told them to write to the government of all of the islands and make it become a school curriculum. And that will be important to help to rebuild the sailing community.
There isn't a category that Carriacou literally dominates to say, all right, we have 5, 6, 7 boats in that category. No longer the case. So that means that either we are not building the kind of boats anymore, or people are not interested in sailing.
Boat people are very important in all this, and of course with their efforts I'm sure that things will get better. So I think that we have to have a greater appreciation for the efforts that the boat people put into all this. But without them we wouldn't have a regatta.
So just how did the festival turn out?
Preliminary reports, we can say to you tonight that this year's festival was a success.
At one point we thought it wouldn't happen, because as I said, it started very late. But of course with the resilience of the committee and of course with the cooperation of the people, I think everything went well under the circumstances.
This brings us to the end of Carriacou Regatta 2016. It has been an amazing experience, and what started off rough ended up to be something that people would remember for a very long time. The boatmen do have some concerns going into the festival next year, but from all indications, the committee is prepared and ready to ensure that a better festival is held in 2017. Signing out from Hillsborough,